Alright everybody, thanks for checking out the channel, and on today we are going to review an iiRcade, in my opinion, under the radar title of Night Slashers. If you like beat 'em up games, two-player co-op games, this could be the one for you. So let's check out the review and see what Night Slashers is all about. Alright everyone, thanks for checking out the channel, and let's get into my review of Night Slashers on the iiRcade. Before we begin, a little bit about this game. It is only $9.99 on the iiRcade store. It's 2 players, T for teen, and it is a beat 'em up game. So if that already fits your interest, let's get into what this game is about. So the description says, join Jake White, Christopher Smith, and Zhao Hong Hua, 3 monster hunters with elemental powers taking on the monsters of the night. So if you are into, horror genre, monsters, werewolves, vampires, zombies, then this could be the game for you. So while playing this game, I thoroughly enjoyed numerous things about the game. First off, it does a really good job of giving multiple mini bosses in the game. You get to fight a lot of great monsters, iconic monsters, in the vein of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Grim Reaper. There is a lot of content here for you to play through if you really like those iconic type roles. In the same vein as Double Dragon, it is a beat 'em up game, and you can't have a beat 'em up game if you can't have 2 players. So this does give you 3 different players to choose from, all with different special abilities and combos, and it is a fun game to play. So in this video, you can see the different combos that I have been using. But what I really want to point out is the flow of the game. It's not just punch, kick, punch, kick. There are ways to do pile drivers, power bombs, elbow drops, and elemental powers, which are pretty cool, that range from ice attacks all the way up to, tornado type attacks. So a lot of the different elements, fire, it's pretty awesome. Now I will tell you, one downfall to those attributes though, guys, is they do hurt you. So when you're playing, you really got to use some strategy there if you want to challenge yourself. As you realize with the iiRcade, this is going to be a coinless operation, so you can die as many times as you like and keep popping in those fake quarters so you can continue to play. But if you want to challenge yourself to a certain amount of people to be able to play with, keep in mind that the special abilities do use health to use. So let's get into the concept of the game. It is pretty amazing in my opinion. The zombies, the boss fights, I was really impressed with how many iconic roles they were able to put into this. As you can see from the video right now, we're fighting a elemental rock beast. It's pretty awesome. But what I will tell you that's really cool about this game is the drop in, drop out playability of it. I was able to play with my sons through the game, and it's really nice to just sit back, enjoy the game for what it is, and play through. Some of my key positive points for Night Slashers, the graphics. I think they're very colorful. I love the 80s style sound that the game has going on, and the fact that it has some cutscenes as well. I don't want to spoil too much in the story, but what I can tell you is there is some cutscenes to kind of help with the flow of the game, and in my opinion, that helps with a nice playthrough. So there are multiple stages to the game, but like I said, it's not just one final boss at the end. They do a great job of adding in what I call mini bosses throughout it as well. So that kind of constantly keeps you going through the change of scenery. Another positive that I really enjoyed about playing through this game is they did try to mix up the gameplay as best they could for what the game is. So you're not just constantly going from left to right, scrolling on the screen, going through the levels. They do have some games where you're having to attack stuff while on the run. They also have a stage where you're going up and down an elevator type shaft to play through. So I did like how they constantly changed the gameplay as well and gave you a chance to kind of not get bored. As you can see on the screen now too, there are a couple of bonus games that are over the top ridiculous. This is what I would refer to as a whack-a-zombie instead of whack-a-mole, right? How many zombies can you kick in the face before time runs out? So really, really cool way to just challenge yourself and have some fun. And as you can see, this game does go over the top with the animations, which makes it really fun. So that's my overall positives on the game. My negatives on the game, I really don't have too many that pop to mind on night slashers. I do think that I can hear from the gameplay sometimes. The sound does get a little bit muffled during some times that a lot of enemies are on the screen. So that can be a little bit of a downer when you're in the middle of the game. You're really enjoying it and the sound kind of goes in and out. But overall, that's really the only thing I noticed during my playthrough that I would say is a negative. Like I said at the start of this, I think this is an under-the-radar type game on the iiRcade. I think the iiRcade's done a great job adding new games, weekly. So in my opinion, this is a game I would recommend to everybody to make sure they get at some point. Night Slashers is definitely worth the purchase, especially at $9.99. So let's get into my final thoughts. Okay, so final thoughts time for Night Slashers. So I'm a little biased when I think of arcades, and one of the reasons that I got into collecting some arcades for my game room at home is I love beat 'em up games. That's one of my favorite type of games to play on the arcades that I have, and the iiRcade has some really great beat 'em up games on it. But what I would recommend Night Slashers above most of those, absolutely. I love the horror genre. I love the iconic villains that you get to fight, and I think the game is an amazing game to play through and add to your collection. And then one of the things that iiRcade does extremely well, everybody, is the price point. So is this game worth $9.99? Absolutely. I would definitely recommend it to everybody on the iiRcade. So if you haven't added this game to your collection, give it a try today. Please leave any comments at the bottom of the video if you've played it on what you think of the game, and let me know what other type of beat 'em up games would you like to have on the iiRcade in the future. So thanks for checking out the video, everybody, and have a good one.